So we back. So the importance of studying ancient Egypt versus America, I'm gonna give you the examples. We know that America is built on ancient Africa, right? Basically, what I'm saying is that not only the designs of Washington, D.C. and all the monuments and capitol buildings and cities around this country, they actually use our knowledge blueprint to create this country. When I say that, I mean that when you study George Washington and all these presidents and all these slave-owning white boys, they actually were part of secret societies known as the Skull and Bones, Illuminati, and other names that you will never know about. Okay. And so, other words. But they use some of our blueprints that they stole in ancient Egypt. Like when you watch the movie Raiders of the Lost Ark, Indiana Jones are very good movies to watch. It also showed you how Hitler and the Nazis were involved in stealing computers, ancient evidence, monuments, artifacts out of the pyramids of ancient Africa that we know as Egypt today. This is why the so-called Jews, Muslims, Christians, Catholics, and all the other religions have a book that were all created by white people, you know, that was given to you during the time of your fucking super enslavement. You know, so what they did is when they would steal and rob these tombs and ancient monuments, pyramids and temples, not just in Egypt, but around the world. It's not just about Africa. They would kill off the people of the land who had the information, and the woman that they would keep, they would mix in with them. And then the offspring, the half-breeds, would be taught the false indoctrination, and they would rule over the ones who were still dark. Whether you're on the islands, whether you're in Asia, Australia, Mexico. Look at the Mexicans. The real Mexicans are dark with curly hair. Not Telemundo with blonde hair and light skin. That's part of the programming, the virus coming through. The Matrix, you know. So I wanted to point out with Egypt, you have the Pharaoh. I'm looking at my whiteboard. I have a like a chalkboard, but a dry erase board in my house. So I'm always working on my craft every day. And so we have a Pharaoh in Egypt. Now, a Pharaoh could be a sister or a brother. You know what I'm saying? So always remember that. And then you have the president. Now, they're all white men. You have Obama, he's half black, you know what I'm saying, but his mom's white. And that's a big thing, because if you come through the canal of the pussy of a white woman, you're white. If you're mixed and you come through the vagina of a black woman and your daddy's white and your mama's black, and then that's when you learn about how in ancient times they use the mixed children in Africa, out here, like the Native Americans. You got white people to this day saying that they're Native Americans. It's like, no, homie, you're only Native American because your great-grandfather raped someone. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't love and none of that shit. Don't like Dances with the Wolves. Come on. Pocahontas. You know, they gave us movies. This is freestyle now. They gave us movies about dances. What was it? Dancing with the Wolves or Dances with the Wolves and Pocahontas, because they wanted white kids to feel good that they conquered Indians and killed them all, but they still got to have sex and fuck their girls. Sex has a lot to do with what's going on too, because DNA and all that. So when they gave us Pocahontas then as kids, they were like, okay, the white man done killed your daddy, done told you not to fuck with this cracker. He done killed all of our culture, but you gonna go over here and fuck him. That's a story that the white man made up. You understand? So now you talk about Disney's talking about perverted shit. You talking about in a cartoon, you told us that you done killed all of us. But I'm still the hero because I fucked the bitch. Because that's what you're saying. She's a bitch if she went against her own people. Same with the black woman today. They'll hire a black woman to teach. Or a faggot. But the real brothers, they'll get a few in if you know someone and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, there's no Morgan Freeman lean on me type of principles walking around America. The system has changed, y'all. So, like me, I have my master's degree. So what? Information dope as fuck running through my head. But if I can't go out and network in my city with similar brothers, there's not 100 black men in this city called Riverside who have a master's degree. I guarantee it. And I'm talking about counting the grown men. If there's 100 people, that's dope. You know what I'm saying? So then you start talking about living in cities where most black people that you're going to encounter are less educated or less studied. It doesn't mean that you have to go to college to get the information, especially now. I tell brothers, if you afraid of death, even sisters, go on the internet now. Look at my videos. There's other people like me. And you can get a lot of the information right now for free, you know. Because, you know, black people, niggas start paying you want the nigga discount. Niggas don't want to pay for shit and get mad when you charge them. That's another story. Black people get mad when you start making money. You know, that was one of the things when I started super popping. Niggas thought I had money. Niggas heard me on the radio, they thought I was rich. The original Miller Lite Steiny bottle. So, back to the Egypt versus America. We're talking about basically like the pharaohs versus the presidents. Let's say the pharaoh is a black man, intelligent, wise, a leader. White man does the same thing. He leads his people. He takes care of his people. He makes sure that everything that he does, if he's a real king or pharaoh or a president, he leaves everything for his children and those involved in his cabinet, or whether like a pharaoh, whether it's your normal citizens, to the priests, to the scribes, to the farmers. We're doing everything to make sure that our nation is prosperous, because at the end of the day, you cannot have a super civilized advanced society without even the so-called bottom people being just as much as respected in certain senses and loved in part of the society as the pharaoh. Now, when I say that is that they'll teach you, like, through their religion, the slave master's religion, he'll say, oh, the Egyptians had slaves who built the pyramids. But we know that's a lie, because we know that black people ain't built shit recently, because we have no information. And we'll talk about how the Greeks used to go to the black so-called Africans, melanated beings, whatever you want to call it, the Moors, whatever, Egyptians. The white boys got their information from black people back in the day. And you study that for a fact. And so I go off subject sometimes. I freestyle and I have things written, but I'm going to start putting these out here from now on. So, you know, so basically, when we start loving Egypt, even though the white man says that through his religions and through his education system that the pyramid builders, they were slaves and da-da-da-da, even though now they're coming out with ancient aliens saying that, oh, the aliens built the pyramids. Okay, so black people just didn't do shit. You know what I'm saying? So, but we don't believe that. We know we know that that's not true. And that's another difference. From now on, when people ask me, oh, do you believe? I know that black people, African people, melanated people who look similar to me, different forms, were intelligent prior to white people. Prior to the Bible, prior to the Quran, prior to the Torah, black people, me in my past life, because it's the same DNA blood going through my veins. We're intelligent, you know. We build nations. The white boy copies us, you know, but he does it in a evil way. And there's no such thing as, to me, as evil, because is it evil if a hyena eats a calf or a lion kills a hyena? Is it evil that you eat meat? Is it evil that you rip a plant and eat it? Because the plant has life and is intelligent too. So I was vegetarian at one time for a long time. So trying to get up again, still strong. But yeah. So now we talk about the education system. In ancient Egypt, we now know that black people, African people, had math, science. They were able to come together, because this is not niggas not getting along. Because in order to build a pyramid, a temple, all these things, you can't have people fighting at the pyramid site. It ain't going down, homie. It's not. Okay? So now we're learning that they had to have some good food, good women around. You know what I'm saying? They had to have prior knowledge to math, science, architecture. So now we know that there were prior advanced civilizations before Egypt. So now with your Quran and Bible, Torah, your education system is ruined. That's why you try to kill us all. We just say, hey, love, if you want the black people or any other race who wants to believe y'all shit, that's fine. We want our land back. That's it. If it's fair, if anyone who believes in God, Jesus, Allah, whatever you believe in, Yahweh, allow the people who don't believe in that and want to live in peace and harmony and justice, let us have some shit. Or y'all fucked up. And then that's when, so let's get back to the education. So now we know that there were civilizations prior to ancient Egypt. Ancient Kemet. It was called at one time Kemet in other names. So when we learn about the word chemistry, it actually comes from the term Kim, the land of the black people. And that's us today. So when you hear chemistry and you learn about the gods of ancient Egypt and the goddesses, each god and goddess represented an element on the chart, nature, different beings. So when you hear different religions say, oh, the ancient Egyptians had statues and hieroglyphs, they worshiped the... No, that's not true. That's a misunderstanding, first of all. And that's also from the slave master who kidnapped us, tortured us, and killed our people and gave you a false sense of reality because you woke up in the matrix. You woke up a slave. You woke up knowing, but you woke up immediately. K through 12, you're getting taught lies. You're getting taught Christopher Columbus discovered America. You're taught George Washington never told a lie. You feel me? You're getting taught certain lies. You're getting taught about Santa Claus. And then all this other stuff. So you're bombarded with a bunch of bullshit. You're not taught like in Egypt the elements at a young age. Like I'm working on these books, children's books now, of all like the Sesame Street, Magic School Bus type of shit. But it's gonna be better. It's basically all my ideas. I want to do things that are gonna teach kids about, like my kids, hydrogen, the atoms, the elements, photons, and neurons. We'll put them into certain things, but I know someone's going to steal this idea, do it before me. I should put it out there, but it's already in the works. We have things patented and all that. But it doesn't matter if you steal our stuff, because that's the whole point, is we're putting the information out for free right now. So I see a lot of brothers charging, and I think that's good. We're supposed to start making money off the information. We cannot be broke anymore. In order for success to build our cities, our nations, we're going to have wealth. And that's what we're going to have to understand. Me working for the white man is not going to create wealth in the black community. I need land. I'm watching the Alaska Frontier. I'm seeing the white boys in Oregon talking about, this is our land. You white motherfuckers ain't the original people here. You guys are a degenerate human entity being. You are mankind. You are a kind of man. And it's not racist, it's not putting people down, but it comes to a point to where if white people and your white friends really feel that the world is fucked up, and some of your white friends will say, well, I wasn't your slave master, that was my great grandfather or something, they did that. But you still are reaping the benefits of your great great grandparents or your great grandparents being racist, bigots, murderers, thieves, robbers, rapists, liars, and you're still benefiting from it while the rest of the world is suffering from it. Why haven't the top white people who so-called want to help black people and their former slaves and all this, why haven't they set up a foundation for reparations and made sure that we have land? The Mormons got their own land. They can have many wives. Imagine if I could have many wives. Not about sex. Like, have a lot of women who love me. But they're trapped in the system of, that's why there's arguments. That's why men cheat. That's why women cheat and stuff like that, is because imagine if I had 3 wives right now who loved me and wanted to rock, similar beliefs. One's a businesswoman. One might be a good cook. One might be an artist or know how to create jewelry. And that's a business. Then we have kids. So that's a business within itself. So that's what they did with religion as well. They say you can only have one wife. You can only do with certain religions. But then you learn certain religions will have many wives and shelter them out and disrespect them and not let them be a goddess as well. So that goes on to another story once again with ancient Egypt. In ancient Egypt, we learned that the pharaohs, the kings, the brothers, adored his wife. You couldn't be a pharaoh without your queen. We could talk about a lot more stuff, but I might be ranting and raving right now. But Egypt versus America. Talk about it in the next episode, part 2. Jason.